Today's in focus subject is Robert Wyatt. Robert Wyatt is a true wizard of English pop music, a one-of-a-kind musician, at once drummer, singer-songwriter and keyboardist. He's produced one of the most consistent and endearing discography out there, working with bands such as Soft Machine, Matching Mole, and as a solo artist. As such, he's produced key records, think of Rock Bottom, Old Rotten Hat, Thunderstan. He's also collaborated with hundreds of musicians, people such as Jimi Hendrix, Brian Eno, Bjork, John Kell, Kevin Ayers, Elvis Costello, Phil Manzarina, and the list goes on and on. Now based in Louth, and for his 75th birthday, we'll be looking back at his career through some of the key records and tracks that he's produced. This is a personal take on this and more focused on his own material rather than collaborations, although there's a few of those peppered through this. Robert Wyatt, In Focus, NTS. Enjoy.
Say UFO was a big surprise because it was a big space, and actually it was underground, down a steep flight of stairs. At the bottom you found this wonderland, which was probably influenced by places seen in America, but a large space without really central, though there was a stage. Screens with light shows and silent films being shown, lots of W.C. Fields, but also abstract films and stuff like that. Old black and white films were very popular. And if there wasn't a band playing, the music was very likely to be Monteverdi or something as he went down. And there didn't seem to be any kind of rule about what the music would be unless the bands were playing. It was a meeting place, but also I think we were all a bit surprised to see there were so many other people into this stuff that was doing, into this other kind of music, other way of being almost, you know. And so it was quite a heartwarming place to be down UFO. And to play there was interesting as well, because although the band was important, the audience was at least as important. It was about everybody there, and the band played their role, but it wasn't just a bunch of people standing in a row gawping at the band. People there to mix, hang out, maybe just get stoned, but it was a big social gathering, as if various tribes from different areas, small tribes, all found a big gathering place to be a kind of big tribe, a multifarious tribe.
State, yeah, but I wish I stay the same. In his organ solos he feels round the keyboard, knowing he must find the nicest notes for you to hear. And when I know that he's found it, it feels so good, but I still can't see why people listen instead of doing it themselves. I'm grateful all the same, very kind, and I don't blame you. I don't mind if you just watch. In fact, I welcome it, 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 welcome it. Thank you, Noel and Mitch. Thank you, Jim, for our exposure to the crowd. And thank you for his coattails, Mike. You did us proud.
I don't like it if people think, you know, that we thought that the sort of clever grammar schooly people came in and thought we were doing something better than just mere pop. We were awestruck by pop music, by the magnificence of Beatles, of Motown, and really we just wanted to participate in it, but getting our little groups together, our own dialects of other stuff we picked up crept into what we did. You know, I'm playing beat drums and I'm trying to sound like a rhythm and blues drummer, but I have been listening to all these sophisticated jazz drummers, and I was sort of cluttered with stuff. You can't sit and pretend you haven't heard Elvin Jones if you have,
respected and so on, but nobody was dancing anymore, and I sort of thought, oh, you know, I never really quite made it as a proper pop musician. We thought we were a pop band. It's just that, yeah, I always try to make normal records, they just don't come out like that. We could have made a really good pop LP and, you know, been in the charts and be in those films about the 60s, and we blew it. I mean, I resented it for a while, you know, and I got cross, I think. I used to feel about Soft Machine a bit way Palestinians feel about Jerusalem, you know, I think. This one was mine.
Sentimental crap, you'll make me mad. 'Cause you know that I would not sing about some passing fad. And if my attempts at rhyming aren't convincing to your ear, then memories betrayed you through the passing of the year. I love you still, Caroline. I want you still, Caroline. I need you still, Caroline. I mean the words I sing, or that all attempts to reach you this way could not mean a thing. But you must admit we both thought we'd be man and wife, and that I could make you happy for the best part of your life. Caroline.
It was Venice in winter, and it wasn't, it was an island, I think, Giudecca, and it was a very strange atmosphere. And she just went into a toy shop, I think, in Venice, and found this organ, the Riviera, which I have, just to keep me occupied in the daytime when she was off with the crew working, helping. And really the music developed out of that atmosphere and from that organ, and quite a lot of it was written. When I came back, I think it would have become the music for the third Matching Mole LP, or part of it, but I then fell out of a window, and that sort of ended Matching Mole. It ended being in a group, and in hospital I just carried on thinking about Rock Bottom, and I had just more time to think about it. And there was a little piano even in a waiting room in the hospital, and after about 4 or 5 months in the hospital, I was allowed to get up from the bed and play. So people think, oh, the record, the music is a consequence of the trauma of the
accident. It's not really true. It was finished afterwards, but it was. I just carried on, you know, from before. I was writing it before I had the accident. I carried on thinking about it while I was in hospital, and then I came out and recorded it and got married. The record came out the same day we were married.
Be different in the spring. I know you're a seasonal beast, like the starfish that drift in with the tide, with the tide. So until your blood runs to meet the next full moon, fits in nicely with my own, with my own. Your lunacy fits neatly with my own,
she bought me the keyboard I use on Rock Bottom, and the great thing about it was a very simple technical thing, and things are often very simple. One little technical device can trigger off a whole thing. You can control the speed of the vibrato, and generally speaking, where you have a fixed vibrato on, for example, the Hammond organ, you go yo 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 yo, and you through the thing go yo yo whoa whoa. Whereas on this little keyboard she had, it was a cheap one. It was just like a toy almost, but about 3 octaves, not much more. But I could find a vibrato on it which matched the kind of natural vibrato I use when I'm singing, so that I could really write notes and immediately imagine them sung, any part of the chord, and place my voice in it. And this is a real breakthrough.
squeak you. Elephant, my larder. Elephant, my larder. Confiscate or make you late, you. Elephant, my larder. Elephant, my larder. Not knit, not knit, no, not knit, knit, falling early bunch, the water mold, belly block and finger hole. Not was it Bundy sea or Jangle and Bojangle? Drip, drip, bip, 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 under him. Elephant, my larder. Elephant, my
But I mean, yeah, the words on that, I think I got the courage from the madness of children's rhymes, you know, which might have some basis in early meaning in some folk song or something, but ring a roses, pocket full of, I don't know, all that stuff. Well, I think every language has them. There was, for example, there's just the words in children's books. Like, I remember when I was little, there were some French things for children, about 3 characters called piqué, piqué, colligram. And, well, no grown-ups are allowed to call their books things like that. You know what I mean? It's not what you do. But children are allowed to have names like piqué, piqué, colligram. And it's from that I sort of got there's quite a sort of tradition of that in Victorian England and whimsy and so on. And the fact that for nearly all, to the extent that it was written, I'm trying to remember, during and after the time I had my accident, I went into my accident very, very drunk. I mean, unbelievably drunk, and sort of stayed in that kind of region for months, really neat, because when you have an accident like that, they just pump you with painkillers for about 6 weeks. You're in a 6-week, almost a coma really, and then lots of drugs and stuff like that. And in that state, and then even when you wake up, you're in hospital, and you're not even allowed to move your neck. So you get to know the person in the next bed, but you can't see their faces because you can't turn your neck because you're all sort of fixed. And in that state, you sort of daydream even when you're not sleeping. And as you may have noticed, there's a period between waking, sleeping, both ways, waking up before you're awake, going to sleep before you're asleep, when you're still thinking in kind of narrative sentences, but they begin to unravel and ghosts come in. And it's from that landscape as well that the lyrics and the feeling, I think, of Rock Bottom come.
Relatively used to coping with the darkness underground. Cup and brownie blink as they emerge. Overhead the stars are piercing, glaring on the new
things are the kind of things resonating in my head that, because there again, that thing about, they're kind of folklore references, English folklore, like you have Roland and all those sort of folk things. They're part of my baggage, and I carry all those. I think the real reason why a lot of that children's fairy tale stuff carries on into my adult life is because at a certain age, the difference between reality and fantasy are very unclear. Everything happens to you. You're still subjective. You don't have a clear distinction. And so that both people you meet, like your mum and dad or friends you make, and the things you read or see, films you see or music you hear, or fantasies or fairy tales, they're all real. Everything is real to a child. And at that age, all those characters in nursery rhymes and fairy tales were real, just as real as anything else. It's that intensity of realness of what turns out to have been a fantasy world, which is, I suppose, the strongest. That's where I try to get back to when I'm doing music.
A white house with a folly, a tower attack, on the side a hand-painted saying, lovingly
Well, actually, the instigator of the whole project was Clive Langer, who wrote the music, and was one of the co-producers along with Alan Winstanley of the record. He came to me with the finished track, with the melody, and said, "Write some words to this." And I took it away to Australia. We were on tour of Australia, and while last year's tragedies were happening, the idea of shipbuilding came into my head, and I wrote it in about 10 minutes.
Right, this is one.
And then rang him up and said, "I've written this song. I'm not entirely certain it's the song that you want, because I wasn't sure."
Did he have any picture of what he wanted from it lyrically at all?
Not really, no. He just left it up to me.
Right,
but he had Robert in mind from the start. The idea was he
Yes.
was writing a song for Robert, and he got stuck at the point of lyrics and asked me to write.
Yeah. Were you absent for most of the Falklands business then?
Well, we were absent, but we were getting very, very exaggerated. I think the Australian press, I hope there are no Australians here, very notorious for being very sensational. And we were hearing third-hand reports, whereas we didn't have that guy, Ian MacDonald, reading like he was reading the football results every day. We just had all these things. And I think that being away meant that the idea of the irony of building ships to send kids off to go and get murdered in, it's not the kind of thought you would have come to mind if you'd been sitting there hearing all of these facts coldly told to you every day.
Right, so it was already filtered through the sort of sensationalism of the Australian press. How did you feel about singing that lyric? I mean, did you...
Well, it's really good. It's tailor-made, I mean,
I mean, it's the sort of lyric that you'd want to sing anyway.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's funny noticing in Spain the image we've got. It's sad, we've got this image of a nation of homicidal maniacs, and it's not really fair, I mean, it's not just, they sort of think, well, football hooligans, and they see a row of glaring teeth in Gibraltar, and they just sort of, we don't want that kind of image,
Were you already in Spain when were you already living in Spain when the lyric kind of arrived?
Well, the thing is, it's arisen recently because of this bit of show muscle around Gibraltar, so it's just sort of...
So it's sort of in the air in Spain.
They're at it again, yeah.
Is it worth it? A new winter coat and shoes for the wife, and a bicycle on the boy's birthday. It's just a rumour that was spread around town by the women and children. Soon we'll be shipbuilding. Well, I ask you, the boy said that they're going to take me to task, but I'll be back by Christmas. It's just a rumour that was spread around town. Somebody said that someone got filled in for saying that people get killed in the result of the shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life, when we could be diving for pearls. It's just a rumor that was spread around town, a telegram or a picture postcard. Within we felt the reopening the shipyard and notifying the next of kin once again. It's always skilled in. We will be shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear lying, my friend. It just can't be. Come closer, my dear. It feels so good just having you near. But who am I fooling when I know it's not real? I can't hide all this hurt and pain inside my feel.
I was fed up with the invention of the SDP, the Social Democrat Party, by a man I like to refer to as Screaming Lord Owen, because the reason he eventually gave up politics was he was beaten in his last election by the monster-raising Looney Party, which is, you're a newsman, I think that's true.
I think it probably is, I don't know.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's a fact too good to check.
It is, that's right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Anyway, but I just thought, all right, I understand, you think, oh, well, we won't be trade unions, working class, it's boring, it's old, we want to be, all this stuff. Okay, well, don't be in the Labour Party then. Be honest, go and be something else, Tory. And then I thought, well, no, I'm not Tory. Oof, no, not me, mate. I'm too sophisticated. Well, the party made just for you. It's called the Liberals, They can be anything. They're Liberal, Democrat. So join them, boost their numbers. Because probably most people in England are actually Liberals. So why aren't they the biggest party? It's crazy. Join them. And oh, no, we can form our own lot, because if I join the Liberals, we'll have to work our way up the ranks. If we start straight away with our own party, then straight away we're the leaders of it, and dang, and all that. And I thought, oh, piss off. Just leave the bleeding Labour movement alone. I was a happy new trade unionist then, and enjoying the comradeship, if I may say so.
There is a kind of compromise you are master of. Your endless gentle nudging left us polarized. It's hard to talk to enemies. We are enemies. What we had in common makes it even worse. You're proud of being middle class, meaning upper of independent minds. Chomsky got it right. You're jogging into battle, waving old school ties.
people who play all the instruments on their recordings is how you start basically for these songs, including the more recent albums. Do you start playing the drums and singing?
The most satisfactory one, the one where I really actually took 10 years to make, really, because I'd had to remix it 10 years later, was Dundistan, which is to say Dundistan Revisited, which was reissued a couple of years ago. That at last, and in fact that is really all me actually. It's the only band I know that always plays does exactly what I want it to do in the end. But then I need a sympathetic engineer, which I found via Phil Manzanera, Phil's engineer, a bloke called Jamie Johnson.
What do you start doing when you record a song? Do you
very
do
simple. Drums, keyboard, provisional vocal, then all the extras, extra keyboard sounds, solos, what you would expect really. The only thing that's I think unusual about what I do is I very often put the bass in last. I sort of drop it in as a sort of, I don't know why, I can't explain it, it works for me. Having done that, then the provisional vocal is usually too weak because it was playing with a little chamber orchestra and now it's playing with some Wagnerian cacophony, so I've sort of changed my tone.
comfortable with the words you're singing, and or at least the sound you're making, because I think there's a lot of words that don't exist yet, and I can't be bothered to wait for them to exist. I was even thinking of compiling a dictionary of words which did not yet exist and having the definitions, so I could be the first one to. But anyway, rock bottom, Folly Baloli, I don't know what it means, but it's absolutely the truth. I know that. It's exactly the right word. That's all I know. And there's some other things, some names that I was using that I didn't know what they were for, but I was very glad to find out afterwards, like for Jangles and Bojangles. And it was only later that I found out Bojangles was one of the great original tap dancers. And I thought, oh, well, that's nice, that'll be fine.
Well, we're driving through Wiltshire. Very nice countryside, sky, ground, all that sort of thing. Natural marriage of natural resources. And I'm looking out the window, because I don't come from that part of the world, and I said, what's that over there? And it was sort of a sort of low grey concrete thing. It was all surrounded by fields, really nice trees, but there was this sort of low, like a large square of concrete, like the foundations of a building that hadn't been built. But it had little walls, about a foot high or something, would look like that, maybe 2 foot high, 2 or 3 foot high. And in fact, it was a sort of, the top of it was a sort of flat roof. And I thought, oh, I see. And then I pointed as a car got past it. I said, what was that? And the country person who was with me said, oh, that's where they keep pigs. I thought, oh, yes, I see, that's where they keep pigs. And the sun was shining down, and grass was green, and it was all very lovely driving the country. And I suddenly thought that what that building must have been like from the inside. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. I wanna live in there. Pigs. Huddled up in there. Pigs. Huddled up in there. Pigs. In there. In the dark. In there. A day like this. Living in there. Pigs. In there. Pigs.
One who just left me, I couldn't breathe with excitement with him. Björk came to visit our house. Well, it's because, I'm not saying the greatest musician or anything like that, but just a kind of a magical presence, like coming out of a fairy tale into our little town in Lincolnshire. And there she was. And she didn't come in like, average gear. She came dressed as Björk, and it was logo.
Do you get a lot of Icelandic warriors in Laos?
Well, they should do. We got that ancient Danish connection, haven't we? But no, I just thought she was. I was dazzled by her, really. I just thought she was brilliant and wonderful, and something. It's what I'd call Northern Soul, really, and she had a magic. This is not a judgmental thing that she's better or worse than anybody else, but someone who really hit me and Alfie. We're both. She was here in the house, and she get me to sing this stuff she wanted to do. She's making a record with all voices on it, beatbox stuff like that. And just at the last minute, she said, "Oh, asked me to do a bit, just add on to it." So I did, and they came along. And she had her engineer with her called Velka. He said, like the Valkyries. And I said, yeah, I can see that. And anyway, but I was so nervous, I made her go out while I did my bit. And she came back for a walk around Louth. And I said, I'm finished. And I sent her out the room. And because I couldn't think what she wanted, I got in to do a rubber drum, which is to record me singing every note I could in a scale. One oo and one ah, I think. Possibly even an all that. And he put them all down and said, you've got them all on tape, now take them away and do what you like with. That's all me singing all those notes, you do it, which is what she did.
Bishop told
a watcher and waiter. What I like doing, you know, watching and waiting and listening. But I think maybe vanity is a kind of like a volcanic force which just has to erupt every now and then. And there comes a point when I think, well, I've seen that way of doing it, I've seen this way of doing it, I've sung on your record, I've sung on his record, let's see what I can do.
Love is real, real is love. Love is feeling, feeling love. Love is wanting to be loved. Love is touch, touch is love. Love is reaching, reaching love. Love is asking to be loved. Love is you, you and me. Love is knowing, can be. Love is free, free is love. Love is living, with me.